is just my interpretation. And as Eli said, my hope is to learn from all of you today too, and we will have a very interactive session. Everyone's nervous with what that means, but it's okay. We'll do it together. We'll figure it out together. So as we get started, this is loading. So what I'll need you guys to do is to get.
Hold on, Felicia. Eli, you gotta, there's a big black bar and you gotta, the only way to remove that is you gotta close the speaker view. You know how to do that? Does anyone else have a big black bar on their presentation?
Yeah.
You gotta close that down, Eli.
You all have that? I don't know if that's an Eli.
No, it's something Eli. If you make me host, I'll fix it. Okay, there you go. There. And move it to the right if you can.
This thing you're talking about?
Side motor.
Okay, you can put it there too. That's fine.
That's a me thing. That's not an Eli thing.
Okay, then you better do it, Felicia. Somebody better do it.
What about making
No, go
side by side mode?
Okay, that's okay. Okay, better. Okay.
I'll try one more time. Sorry. I don't know why. Is it still there?
Yeah, but it's at the top now. It's fine now. It's good. You can go.
Okay. Well, this way I can't see you, but it's okay. Not that interactive. I'm just gonna trust that everyone's there. So what I'll need you to do is to please get something to doodle or draw with, either a pen, a pencil, a crayon, a Sharpie, use your imagination, and something to draw on. Paper is what I have here. And I am gonna open this black thing and just see that everyone is getting up and grabbing some stuff. Please grab a pen, pencil, crayon, and some paper, because this is an interactive session. My next slide is dedicated to the people that have not gotten up and they're saying, but why do I have to? Can I just listen, Felicia? And I'm saying, no, please, please participate. We all need to get on the treadmill together. We can't just put one paw.
Felicia, John, is there any way we can get rid of this black thing?
I'm not sure why that's happening.
Felicia, do you know how to use side-by-side mode?
Let me see. Side by side.
So you go to the corner, it says view, and then you'll see it.
See what?
Side by side gallery.
I don't think I see that as the
Screen
person.
sharing, you can't do it.
There, yeah. I don't know if anyone else has tips. I do know that I've had issues with my share screen before.
If you send me the presentation, I could run it for you.
Okay. How's everyone feeling?
Feeling just great.
Is everyone already feeling that interactive spirit? Okay. Sobhani.
I'm just taking the time to say hi to Grace. Grace, love to see you. I'm so glad to see you, darling.
Hi, Grace.
And also Felicia, Cathy from Montreal is here.
Amazing.
Yes.
I gotta download this.
And by the way, Mariam from Oakville is here too.
Hey.
You download it.
From everywhere.
Eli, can you make me host?
Yeah, sure.
Can we listen to a piece of music while we are working on this?
I'm here.
We're already there.
Good.
Okay.
Okay.
You're the co-host.
Thank you to our technical team. Awesome.
Perfect.
I hope that gave extra time for everyone to get paper. Dad, can you press present?
Yeah. I hope it doesn't mess it up.
No. So it's I need to. Okay. Can you go to the next slide? Okay. So we're going to start off with a question. What is wonderment? And for this, I'd like to ask you guys to either, speak out, unmute yourself, or write in the chat. What is wonderment? What does wonderment mean? How would you define wonderment? Being amazed, feeling of awe, state of awe, state of admiration. Kian says awe. So we got a lot of awe and admiration and being amazed. A good mysterious, like a good mystery, I think. Is that what you mean, Mariam?
No, I kind of more meant like mysterious, something mysterious, but positive mysterious, not like a negative mysterious. Like, yeah.
Yeah. A good mysterious. I
Yeah.
like that. Any other answers? If people don't want to type it out, they can shout it out. Okay, I think that's a good amount. So a lot of awe, a lot of amazement, a good mysterious, open to creativity. Love it, Maureen. Dad, you can go to the next slide. And then the next one. So this is what we just did. You can go to the next one. So we're going to read this passage from The Seven Valleys, which is a book written in Persian by Baha'u'llah, the founder of the Baha'i faith. And just some context of this passage. This piece is a very mystical piece. And throughout the book, we follow the path of the soul on a spiritual journey, passing through different valleys, different stages. And in each realm, we're getting closer to the Creator, closer to God. So this is the Valley of Wonderment. I was going to ask Firuz if you could read it for us.
Valley of wonderment, for in this valley the traveler is flung into confusion, albeit in the eye of him who had attained. Such marvels are esteemed and well beloved. At every moment he beholdeth a wondrous world, a new creation, and goeth from astonishment to astonishment, and is lost in awe at the works of the Lord of oneness. Indeed, O brother, if we ponder each created things, we shall witness a myriad perfect wisdoms and learn a myriad new and wondrous truths.
Thank you. So I'll let that sink in. But it's interesting that a lot of us said awe, and it says, and is lost in the awe at the works of the Lord of oneness. So just my interpretation of this quote, it's describing how sorry, go back. The seeker is so struck by the beauty of God, and the seeker becomes conscious of the vastness and the glory of creation, discovering the inner mysteries, like Mariam said, of God's revelation. And later on in this valley of wonderment, it is explained how the seeker continues to be astonished by the works of God, being led from one mystery of creation to the next. So when we think of wonderment, wonderment really is just related to the beauty of God. We're so in awe with the beauty of God. But yeah, before we move on, does anyone else have thoughts on this passage or on the Valley of Wonderment?
Felicia, this is a little side topic, but around my father, none of us can say awesome. Like, oh, that pizza was awesome, because he also defines awesome as being overwhelmed by the divine. So when a waiter says, "How was your meal?" "Good." "Oh, awesome." My dad goes up the wall.
Yeah. Any other thoughts?
I think I have a thought. I wrote sublimity / sublime. And it's a concept that we learned in literature, and I guess therefore in real life as well, about how often represented in literature are these things like staring up at the stars, or like standing at the edge of a tall cliff, or looking up at the trees and seeing how tall they are. And they all represent something that we can't really comprehend, and they evoke these feelings of like wonderment. They evoke feelings of a bit of confusion, and a mix of awe, but also like fear, because we can't comprehend what's going on. And this is interesting because many of the temples, I'm relating this to the Baha'i temple in Chile, was created to evoke the same sense of awe and wonderment, because it's so vast, because it's so grand, because when you step inside, your eyes are pulled upwards by the shape of the walls, and it's meant to evoke the same feeling of awe of the sublime. So yeah.
I love that. Any other final thoughts? Okay, so then the quote continues into this next slide. Kian, would you be willing to read?
Okay. Reflect upon the perfection of man's creation, and that all these planes and states are folded up and hidden away within him. Oh, dost thou reckon thyself only a puny form, when within thee the universe is folded?
Thank you.
Don't-
Dad, you can click like a few times. Yeah, click one more time. Okay, so just to break down, in case we don't know what all these words mean. Dost thou reckon? So dost thou consider thyself only a puny, like a small and a weak form, when within this is folded. So thinking back to that beginning of wonderment and awe and sublimity, the mountains, the sunset, the nature, all of that awe and the universe is folded inside of us. So that's a really empowering statement, just to remind ourselves that, yes, in some ways we are just specks of dust in this universe, but then again, we have all of these mysteries and gems of God folded inside of us, and it's up to us to unfold it and put in the effort to make sure that those gems are pure. Yeah, I'll let that sink in, but I'm curious what people take from this. Like, what do we think is the universe that's folded within us? Marianne, please.
Sorry, I would show my face, but I've been really sick and I'm not, so that's why I'm not being a diva. So I think that when we talk about man being created in the image of God, that has so many more implications than perhaps we think about at first blush. So I think that, you know, when Baha'u'llah also says, noble have I created thee, it kind of goes in line with this writing as well, that within each one of us, the universe is folded because each one of us is kind of like a piece of God.
Yeah. Each one of us is a piece of God. We have to write down everything Mariam says is so quotable today. Like, retweet that.
You're so funny.
Anyone else? Has anyone read this before? Like, I don't know. This is something that I stumbled across through this work that I'll explain later, but I'm wondering if anyone else has thoughts on this.
I think just from the physical perspective, I mean, this we know that we are made up of, my sons can speak to this better, but the elements of the universe literally are what makes us physically. So that is just another way to look at this. So there's all the spiritual planes that I think are referenced above, but physically we are this incredible living, breathing thing that's a representation of the universe.
Love that.
Mariam still has her hand up.
I know, I wasn't
She's
sure.
such a diva. She never stops.
Okay.
That's what divas do.
That's what
You guys are just picking me while I'm down. Okay.
Thank you for being here.
Oh.
Thank you, Kathy, for being here too. Okay. I think we need to do an activity. Another one. Let's go to the next. Okay, so the first thing I want you to do on your piece of paper is to write some qualities of the universe that you think are folded within you. And then I'm going to ask you to write your name. And then I want you to write your name in reverse, mirrored, which is in the example given. And then I want you to write your name upside down. And you're going to be like, Felicia, what are you doing? I will explain it soon. So let's, I haven't tried this yet either. So I'm going to write my name with all of you guys. I wonder, oh, I was going to play music, but I can't. So we'll all play music in our heads. I see Asher is laughing. how are we doing with those upside down names? And I'm trying to look for someone with a really long name. I think people are still writing.
That's much harder than expected.
Right? I wrote it capitalized and it was easier to mirror, but then doing it not capitalized. How is everyone else? Did someone just like nail it right away? Tristan, you're just like, I know how to mirror. Eli's like, I've done this in my sleep.
My name is basically mirrored anyways.
Eli. Sweet. Dad, do you mind going to the next slide? Or you're not done yet? Okay, sweet. So the point of all of this was to engage the right brain. So the left brain, right brain is this theory. Not sure how to feel about it, but it's a theory where basically our left, we have scientists in this room, so please jump in because yeah, but basically our left brain is more analytical and we think in words, facts, logic. It's very scientific, while the right brain is all about imagination, intuition, rhythm, the arts. And according to this theory, people are more dominant in one of the sides. So either you're more artsy or you're more sciencey. But the point is that we have both of them in all of us. And the universe is folded within all of us. So we can actually tap into both sides of thinking and modes of working. So in the exercise of you writing out your name, we did use something that you're very familiar with. It's your name. And with the exercise, we tried to open up some creativity and look at your name in a new way. And the reason for all of that is because today I'd like us to tap into this side. Even if we think we're not really artistic, it's still latent in us and we have it. So I hope people don't get too uncomfortable with trying to tap into it, but it's a form for us to connect to the higher power, to our creator. And when we think about reading the creative words or the writings, many times we are analytical in our interpretation and we try and break down words, which is like what I did earlier when I was defining what does puny mean. And we dissect and fragment. And it's rare that we just try and look at it as one holistic thing. So that's what I'm hoping we will experiment and do today. So I'd like us to look at the next slide and read this quote together. Saline, can I have you read it?
Sure. Free thyself from the fetters of this world and loose thy soul from the prison of self.
It's still, of course, important to be analytical and to dissect. So just to make sure we understand all of these words, does everyone know what fetters are? No. So fetters are like, from my understanding, and please someone jump in, are like shackles and chains and so free thyself from the chains of this world and loose thy soul from the prison of self. So instead of us talking about this quote just yet, I want us to use our pens again, or crayons, or whatever we have, and we'll take 10 minutes to draw or doodle. If drawing sounds too intimidating, we're doodling together. And it's not about your execution of the piece, but it's about trusting the vision that you have when you read this quote. And the 15 of us on this call will have a very different interpretation, and together we'll learn more about each other and what this quote means. So don't worry about what it will look like. It's really about the meditative experience of you drawing out this vision that is being channeled through you. And there's this quote from Abdu'l-Baha where he says, "When thy fingers grasp the paintbrush, it is as if thou wert at prayer in the temple." So take that for the next 10 minutes, draw whatever you see, and we're basically praying together as we draw. And I had music to play, but I don't know if I can. Dad, do you have some awesome meditative music?
Yeah, I got the Charlie Daniels band, Devil Went Down to Georgia. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it.
And we're gonna take 10 minutes. I can't share at the same time. Or I guess I could.
Do you want
share.
him to end share so you can share music?
Yeah, does everyone have that quote? Or should I put it in the chat maybe?
Put it in the chat.
Okay. Thank you for the suggestion. It's from this hidden word. Okay. Can you stop sharing that? Wonderful. You guys see the whole screen, right?
Yeah,
Okay, that wasn't the intention, but
you can actually this is good.
That was 10 minutes. How's everyone doing? Do we still need a bit more time? No, okay. Yes, no, no. Cool. Is anyone comfortable sharing what they got? Again, this is not about execution or skill, but it's about vision and how you interpreted the quote. I see Maureen. Oh, Maureen, please explain.
Well, there's the earth, and then there's this long chain and sort of these handcuffs, which are the fetters, and then wings, and then I've just got light, supposed to be if I had a yellow pencil. Anyway.
Wow.
Not very talented, but it was so fun.
Do you feel like in that process, whoa, what's happening? This is Brett.
This is very abstract, clearly.
Brett, can you explain?
No.
Okay.
Well, you know, feathers, oops, stuff like that. Put upside down. Feathers are the dark things, and that the pink stuff there is going up into the sky. It's detaching.
And for you guys, like,
It was very cathartic.
yeah, I was gonna ask what do you feel like you learned something new about this quote in the process?
No,
No.
but I love this quote, and when I say prayers for detachment, I have this image. I couldn't draw it to save my life, but I do have this image of this chain, like kind of pulling me to the earth. Or we've all read the quote about the bird in the mud, right? And so all these things come to mind, but I can't draw, so I just went with some colors and lines.
Yeah, amazing.
I'm
Would
not good at
anyone
drawing.
else?
I realized we had to go out of the earth because the earth itself had the fetters.
Okay, I see. I saw Eli. Yes, Eli.
You're right. Mine just looks like this. I just drew a chain and then like a door leading to the earth. And outside the earth is a good place. I don't really know.
I love that. Asher, I saw. Yes.
Okay, so mine is like the same as my mom's, and I spent 9 out of the 10 minutes trying to draw this chain. I'm really proud of it. But you see that? See how they're all like going do, 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 do?
Wow, yes.
Thank you. The rest of it is not there, so you'll have to imagine it. But there's the earth, there's chain. Imagine chains here, chains all over here, chains over here and around here. Imagine a whole person here breaking free from the chains. This was going to be a thing of light, like my mom, and this was going to be all black, like the universe. So it's there in my head.
Yeah, that's the whole
Chains.
point, that it's there in your head. Amazing. Anyone else? Maybe? Okay, what I find fascinating is that we all read the same quote, but we have these diverse perspectives. And there's this recurring theme, like I think 3 of them right now, we saw chains, yet even those chains we interpret differently. So this brings back that concept of consultation where we all get a little bit of a different interpretation and reality. And when we come together and share them, our reality gets expanded and our universe gets expanded.
Salim wants to show his.
Who?
Yeah, me too.
Who wants to show?
I think
Ramona,
Salim.
show.
Oh,
Oh.
I can't draw to save my life,
Okay.
but I visualize an actual artist being able to draw what I drew,
Okay.
but it looks horrendous.
So do you want to explain? Do you
It's
want
not,
to
it's
explain
pretty
it?
Yeah,
So I
like,
want you to, imagine what I saw
Okay.
was, well, for me, because it was me, like a woman's body, but like your arms are sort of like this, like you're just sort of laying, and you're being like pulled down by like the Stranger Things goo type of chain to the earth, and then the
Mm.
spirit's coming out, opening to the light. But you're not gonna see this
Why not?
because I don't draw well. I don't know how to draw at all.
Wow, that's beautiful.
But in my brain, I see it. Like, I don't know if you
Yeah.
can see it.
I see it. Yeah.
So it's just kind of like you're limp, dead, like a life, like basically the meat suit being dragged down by like, I just, in my head, I see it as just black, stretchy taffy holding you down, not physical chains. And then your spirit, I don't know if you can see the spirit trying to come out into, and up there.
it could also be a
should be
poster
light.
for a horror film. I love it.
But like what's in my head and what's on paper, it just doesn't
Oh.
register.
Yeah, but that was the point. The point is like execution doesn't matter.
Go in the room.
Trusting our vision. I hear that. Brett
Well,
was.
you did good job. I'm surprised.
Oh, is this Keon? Keon's prison.
First was prison, and then the second picture is the chains coming off the human being.
Oh, wow.
So
Very.
that's how an 8-year-old thinks. Anyway,
I mean that's awesome. And then I know that Brett was poking at Sally.
Oh no. Okay. I'm gonna tell you what my thought behind it was, and that's kind of it, because yeah,
Okay.
I can't draw either. Basically, what I had was like shackles around like the leg of a bird, and like the chain and one shackle broke off, and it was like flying into the sky because yeah, getting free from fetters, like the destruction of the shackle was kind of where I went with that, and then like leaving Earth, which was talked about like Maureen about like how like the fetters are from Earth, was why I chose a bird, because like they're able to like fly away. But yeah.
Mm, beautiful. Furuz, Grace, or Nuri, did you envision something? You don't have to share the actual thing, but would you want to share what you envisioned when reading that quote?
I'm so glad that you called both Grace and
And Nuri and Baruch.
I'm so glad that Grace will answer first, and then I will answer later.
We can't hear you, Grace.
Grace, if you want, you can unmute yourself. If you want me to say something, I'll say something until you unmute. What do you want to do?
let Grace unmute.
Unmute Grace, John.
There you go, Grace. You're good.
Saying that I try to do some illustration, but I really can't share. Just forget about it. But I try to do something.
Would you mind sharing what you saw? You don't have to share the actual illustration.
No, I really did not see. I really did not vision anything really.
Mm. Yeah.
Mm.
That happens sometimes.
Yeah.
Anyone else?
I can explain, but if I show you anything that I draw, you might totally cut off your friendship with me. So, so as a result, I'm able to explain to you how I feel about this code, Felicia John. But if other people can do a better job, I would just, yeah, pass.
You can't. No, I think everyone wants to hear your thoughts before you pass.
For me, this particular piece of writing gives me that feeling of freedom when I'm not concerned about what other people think, and particularly what other people think of me. Probably because I lived in a country which, as Baha'is, there were always a second thought about who we were and what we did in our leisure or stuff like that. So as a child, I was always worried, what would they think? So, but to me, that kind of a freedom is a freedom that it's only between me and him and no one else.
Thank you. So just quickly, how was that exercise before we show the last few videos? For those who weren't comfortable drawing, like even though you weren't comfortable with it, was it still somewhat enjoyable, or did you learn something about yourself or the quote? I see nodding from Asher.
I loved it, Felicia, and especially combined with the music. And it was just playtime, which I never afford myself some time like that. But matched with these beautiful writings, it made it meaningful. Whereas normally, you know, I wouldn't take time to doodle, but that felt like it was, you know, a very useful, meaningful exercise. I loved it. I wanted it to keep going.
Glad. Yeah, I know the vision is hopefully that this becomes part of our norm. So yeah, let's share the screen again. And to give context for this project that I'm a part of, I'm the assistant director for this new web series called The Universe Within. And yours truly, Asher, sings on this track in the background and is also a collaborator of the project. So this digital series is very new, but it's based off of these quotes that we read today. It's based off of the universe being folded within all of us. So there's many different goals, but one goal is to use the arts as a means to tap into the creative word. And these beautiful metaphors from the Baha'i writings. Another goal is to foster a community of artists and musicians around the world. And another goal is to hopefully make the audience members feel like they can create and empower them and have more hope, I guess, in the world. So if, Dad, you could share the screen, there are two videos. The first video is, we gave this quote to an artist, her name is Akia, and this is what she came up with.
Set me free to fly high through infinite skies. I wanna find forever. I'm tethered. I wanna be there where the flower blooms.
So we'll pause there before we watch the second video. I don't know if people were able to digest that in. I know some of you have seen this before. but does anyone have thoughts on the animation? Or like, how do we, I don't know if people can, or have a way of interpreting it. It's probably the more abstract interpretation. So maybe we will watch the second video and see what Akia says herself. Are you able to play the second one?
Do you think we could watch the first one more time leading into the second one?
Sure. It's only 1 minute, so maybe yeah.
Set me free to fly high through infinite skies. I wanna find forever. I'm tethered. I wanna be there where the flower blooms.
I created these hands with very long, beautiful nails. And the hand is sort of like a self-portrait of this woman. And when the hand picks up a key, the key represents something that can unlock the prison of fear or doubt or anything that disconnects us from our true self. That's what that key is for. I used to wear a key. I still have it, and sometimes I wear it still. That's my key. It's an abstract thing that I like to apply to this very physical place. We have to look inside of ourselves and figure out what things are locked up in the dark. So that key represents opening those things out, shining light in places that you might not be aware of.
So any thoughts on that, and what is your key and what do you need to unlock?
I can offer a general comment, Felicia. I was really dumbfounded when I saw that video. I'd seen it before because it was so unique and different that I actually didn't know what had just happened when I saw that video. And I mean that as like the highest compliment possible. It wasn't just an entertainment video. And then, so thinking about taking the quote and, you know, applying music, applying art, I thought visually it was just beautiful. But then when the artist started explaining the symbolism behind the nails taking on the pattern from what she was holding, and then those keys, I don't know, it just really unlocked a new kind of perspective on that writing. And I just thought, that's next level. It was just beautiful. I was proud of you.
Thank you. That's Akia. Akia did all of that. Any?
Felicia, long time no see.
Hi, Ming. How are you?
You graduated.
Yeah.
So are you a director now?
No, I'm an assistant director. I help create that little video that we
Okay.
saw.
So are you making movies yet?
Not yet. No, not fully yet. Ming
Why making
was
movies?
in my book 1. We did that a year ago.
Are you guys still doing that?
I think that book finished, but I don't know what they're up to.
But she can always restart. Yeah, I would love to be included. Ming, if you're coming, that would be great.
After I can drive first.
Okay.
We can go back on Zoom, do a few Zoom sessions.
When do you guys finish those books?
I can't remember.
Oh,
I mean, Asher, do you remember? You were in that.
Hi, Ming.
okay.
I don't remember. Book 1 finished in maybe October to November.
That sounds right. Yeah. Back to just wrapping up. Were there any other thoughts? Maureen, what you said, there's another video that just came out as well where she explains like what those long nails mean in African American culture as well. So there's even more to the story. We're like bringing them out popcorn style in these like 1-minute segments, but we'll see if what makes sense, but encourage you to watch that one too. And Brett, I think you were going to say something.
Yeah, I really like the key analogy a lot. One of my favorite quotes is, "The word of God is the master key to the hearts of men." And I've been reading a lot of stuff from Al-Baha recently that talks about the mysteries that are hidden within the contingent world. And that if we were to really study the contingent world and with a pure heart and turn our hearts to God and so on, that there's just, for lack of a better word, there's a world of mysteries around us, spiritual mysteries. And so I like that, the idea that the word of God helps us unlock these things. It unlocks our hearts, it unlocks our potential, it unlocks the mysteries latent in the contingent world. So there's a lot of overlap there with the key. So that was really neat.
Very cool.
And I love Usher singing somewhere in one of the songs. I haven't quite heard it, but I know I love it.
It's there, it's out, it's on Spotify, you can hear it. Be with you. Any final thoughts? Okay, so then just the last thing I'll say is that those 2 videos you saw are from The Universe Within. It's really helpful if you do all that social media stuff and follow it and subscribe to it and like it and watch it and save it and share it. But rather than only consuming it, the purpose of it is to start conversation with friends or to use it in gatherings like we did today. We just used 1. There's currently 6 art segments that are out on different quotes. Yeah, and I hope that it uplifts and creates more hope and starts a revolution in a good way, a transformation and revolution in our thinking of what is spiritual art. And that's really it on my end. Thank you, Firuz, for always creating this space. And for my family, all of you guys are family right now that are on this call. So thank you.
Speech.
Woo! Speech.
Thank you, Eli, for sharing tonight.